On August 4, 2020, the bustling city of Beirut, Lebanon, experienced a cataclysmic explosion that would forever alter its landscape and the lives of its residents. What initially seemed like an ordinary day quickly transformed into a horrific scene of destruction, chaos, and heartbreak. The blast, caused by the improper storage of ammonium nitrate at the port, led to one of the largest non-nuclear explosions in history, claiming the lives of over 200 people and injuring thousands more. The tragic events unfolded in the late afternoon when a fire ignited in the port area, where approximately 2,750 tons of ammonium nitrate had been stored for years, largely ignored by local authorities. This chemical, commonly used in fertilizers, became a ticking time bomb, sitting dangerously close to a densely populated area. As flames engulfed the warehouse, workers and nearby residents were oblivious to the impending disaster. The first explosion occurred with a deafening roar, followed by a massive shockwave that ripped through the city, shattering windows, destroying buildings, and sending debris flying for miles. The aftermath was devastating. Entire neighborhoods were obliterated, with the force of the explosion felt as far as 15 miles away. In a matter of seconds, countless homes, businesses, and lives were shattered. The once vibrant streets of Beirut transformed into scenes of utter devastation. The sky filled with smoke and dust, and the air was thick with the smell of burning debris and despair. Amidst the chaos, emergency responders rushed to the scene, attempting to rescue survivors from the wreckage, while the city grappled with the overwhelming scale of the tragedy. As the dust settled, the reality of the situation began to sink in. Hospitals were overwhelmed with casualties, many suffering from severe injuries and burns. Families searched frantically for their loved ones, hoping against hope that they would be found alive amidst the rubble. Social media became a lifeline, with people sharing information about missing individuals and coordinating rescue efforts. The emotional toll on the city was palpable, with cries of anguish echoing through the streets as the death toll continued to rise. In the days following the explosion, an outpouring of grief and solidarity swept through Lebanon and the world. Vigils were held, and humanitarian aid flooded into the country as people rallied to support the victims and their families. Despite the despair, the Lebanese people showed remarkable resilience, coming together to help one another in the face of unimaginable loss. Local and international organizations mobilized to provide assistance, offering food, shelter, and medical care to those affected by the tragedy. However, the explosion also unveiled deep-rooted issues within Lebanon's government and infrastructure. Investigations revealed a culture of negligence and corruption that had allowed such a dangerous situation to fester unchecked for years. Protests erupted as citizens demanded accountability and reform, expressing their anger and frustration at the systemic failures that had led to the catastrophe. The phrase, "We are all Beirut," echoed through the streets, symbolizing a collective call for justice and change. The Lebanese government faced immense pressure to provide answers and take responsibility for the disaster. However, the lack of transparency and accountability only fueled public outrage. Many citizens were left disillusioned, questioning the motives of their leaders and demanding a brighter future for their country. The explosion became a catalyst for a broader movement, uniting people from all walks of life in their quest for justice and reform. As Beirut began its long road to recovery, the scars of that fateful day would remain etched in the hearts of its people. Memorials were erected to honor the victims, serving as a constant reminder of the lives lost and the fragility of existence. The explosion not only reshaped the city's landscape but also ignited a collective consciousness among its residents, urging them to rebuild, advocate for change, and never forget the tragedy that befell their beloved Beirut. The Beirut explosion stands as a tragic testament to the consequences of neglect, corruption, and mismanagement. It has become a poignant reminder of the importance of accountability and transparency in governance. As Lebanon moves forward, the world watches closely, hoping for a brighter future for a nation resilient in the face of adversity. The road ahead may be long and arduous, but the spirit of the Lebanese people continues to shine brightly, illuminating the way for a hopeful tomorrow. Thanks for watching.